There's always one new beauty trend popping up, and one of the latest that women all over Utah are buying into involves ink, needles, and your eyebrows. We found it falls into this gray area over who's really regulating the cosmetic procedure known as microblading. Here's news specialist Ashley Kewish.
Welcome to the world of microblading, where pictures of perfectly arched, colored, and polished brows are everywhere.
I've specialized in eyebrow shaping for 16 years.
Whitney Johnson owns her own business, and that business is brows.
Okay, we're gonna take some before photos.
She's a master esthetician, health department certified, insured, and well, staying pretty busy these days with the microblade.
It almost looks like a miniature X-Acto knife, but instead of a blade, it has a row of tiny needles. You just dip the needles in the ink and you implant the ink under the skin.
Microblading is similar to tattooing, but instead of a block of color, small individual hair-like strokes are made. The area is numbed using epinephrine and lidocaine.
My favorite quote is, "Good eyebrows aren't cheap and cheap eyebrows aren't good."
She charges $400 for the procedure, which we found is pretty average in Utah. It's semi-permanent and generally fades within 1 to 3 years.
So this is a way for them to have full eyebrows without having to draw them on every morning.
What does the train say?
That was the appeal for Leslie Harker, a busy Provo mother with even busier twin toddlers.
I used to wear makeup every single day, and a lot of it. And now I'm lucky if I put on mascara.
She won a giveaway on Instagram. The prize? Free microblading.
I did zero research. Should I even admit that?
She made the appointment and
I was like, oh my gosh, like what is happening right now? It hurts so bad. And I bled a lot.
As you can see by looking at her now, no major issues. She says she's happy with the result.
I tell my friends that it hurts, but it's totally worth it.
Pain can be expected. After all, there are needles breaking the skin. But that's not the scariest part.
The eyebrow has its own very specific anatomy, and if you're not familiar with that, you could really disfigure someone.
Dr. Scott Thompson is a board-certified facial plastic surgeon and says he's seeing a sharp increase in the demand for beautiful brows among his patients.
It's really grown and expanded recently.
He says there are real risks with this procedure that people need to know about.
Potentially serious infections could happen, and when you get an infection in the skin, that can result in scarring that can't be fixed.
So you would assume only a skilled, well-trained person would be able to offer microblading. Let's put this in perspective. To be licensed to do hair in the state of Utah, you need a minimum of 1,600 hours of schooling. To be licensed to do nails, you need a minimum of 300 hours of schooling. To offer microblading, there's no bare minimum competency level.
These are my needles. They're a one-time use.
That's because right now, microblading is not regulated by the Utah Division of Occupational and Professional Licensing.
A stainless steel tray.
The cleanliness of a brow studio and proper disposal of equipment is regulated by each county's health department. But they have nothing to do with making sure the person holding the blade knows what they're doing.
I can't even wax an eyebrow without being licensed and having all of the required hours, but I can cut into somebody's face with taking a 2-day course if I wanted to.
Whitney says she paid more than $4,000 for 100 hours of training, which is about 100 hours more than she had to.
Anybody can go and take a 2 or 3-day course, and literally a month or two later, they can go and open their own training facility.
A quick search of the web, and you can find dozens of these so-called training facilities in Utah. This one, 2 days. The first day covering business development and marketing. But hey, dinner's included. Then there's this one that encourages you to get trained before the state starts licensing.
There's training for every other medical type procedure that's done. There's a process that happens, and this is a medical procedure. It really is.
So, if you're on the hunt for the perfect brows,
I want them to be aware that they need to look into who they're going to so they know exactly what they're getting so they don't end up regretting what's on their face.
Before going under the blade, buyer beware. Ashley Kewish, KSL 5 News.